What's up, YouTube? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me straighten this camera out. Get my keyboard out of here. Welcome to today's stream. I actually like this. I'm put up. Oh no, sorry. I meant to do. How's that? Oh, that's not bad. But it's too short. Okay, so this is what I meant to do, but I didn't want to make this bigger. And I'll turn this. Yeah, it's kind of distracting actually. So I'm gonna turn myself like that. There we go. Okay. Uh, So we're making some TLX amp harnesses. We got two orders for this actually. So we gotta make them. First things first is we're gonna take some power wires out of one and put them into another. So I have ordered these harnesses to be made at the factory now, so I don't have to custom make each one by hand, so that I can lower the price and also um, guarantee that they're made right every single time. Because whenever something is made by hand every single day, errors can happen. Pins could not sink correctly. Things could be terminated poorly. So, hoping that by having them made in the factory, that will all go away. Okay, so looking at it this way. This is negative. This is positive. Okay, right, that's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, then we got to do the same thing for the sub. I know you can't see everything I'm doing right now, but you will be able to see it in a second. Come on, buddy. There we go. All right, cool. So now I have to follow this because this is this, but I believe subwoofer positive is on the top row. So that's switch. Subwoofer positive is on the top row, and subwoofer negative is on the bottom row. Here, I'll bring this down so you can see a little bit, and then we'll transfer this to this corner. Actually, it was fine there, so you could see my hands a little. All right, now they need to be removed from here. Come on, don't be a bitch. There we go. Okay, let's take the black out as well. Okay, and then let's take the browns out. So the reason why I'm not repinning this one and just pinning it again is because I found that sometimes when I unpin, the actual little terminals get bent just a little bit too much one way or the other, and then it affects how well they can grab onto stuff. Into how basically I unpin them, and then when I go to repin them, they don't sit properly, and then when you plug them in together, they like to push each other out, and we can't have that. So it needs to be proper, and we'll test that before we ship this. Okay, so all those are good, and we're going to do a test now to make sure that if I unplug them and plug them back in, that none of these get pushed out anywhere. Okay, so that's good. So now we can start by adding, come on, the terminals to one side. What the hell, bro? So these are wires that are already pre-terminated. So we just need to grab the right ones, and we actually do need to re-terminate green wires. But one step at a time, let's follow our master. So it goes front left, positive. What's up, Pedro? How are you, man? Okay. Positive. Make sure that's in there good. Then white, negative. Yep. Okay, make sure that's in there good. And purple, black, which is rear right, negative. Yep. Then green, which is purple, which is rear right positive, then rear right negative again. This is, yep, okay. Then green, which is rear left positive. This is, yeah, rear left, and then that's positive, and then center positive. Right now, we're working on a harness for, here, let me flip this because this is what's more interesting. We're working on a, hold on, this camera's crooked too. Zoom in on my face so you can see. So we're working on a harness for a TLX. So you can see TLX with nav. This is from 2015 to 2020. This is the plug that's going to go into the amp. Let me just grab the amp actually because I'm going to need it. So one sec, I got to go to the office. I organize everything on stream so I know where everything is now. Which is so beautiful that way. Oh, there we go. TLX amp, where are you? Okay, so shit. This is an amplifier from a TLX. I think this is from a 2016. And here are the three connectors. This is for the ELS system. We also have it for the bass, but this is for the ELS. So this connector right here, sorry, I'm grabbing the wrong one. This connector right here is the input from the factory radio. So this has all of the audio signal from the factory radio. It's just fixed at 1 volt. So if you grab this, you need a DSP with ultimate volume control. And you also need to turn on surround sound audio so it works correctly. This is what we're making right now. So this connector, so you don't have to cut this up and mess with it, figure out which wire is what. You would buy this harness. This plugs into the amp. And then they're all labeled. And this is the output from the amp that you would send to your line out converter so that you can then put more amps past this. And there's more to this harness, but this is just step one. I need to finish making it. This also has your surround speakers. So these are your outputs, and this is your input. But let's finish this first, and then we'll talk more about it. I have a JBL GTS. For my question is, can I use the T harness? Yeah, it's meant for that. Just know, Mohammed, that your rear speakers have a crossover at like 120 hertz. And then, so they play bass, but they play like the higher end of bass. They'll have like really good bass at like 60 to 120. And then from like 60 down to around 30, it's a little bit more quiet. It's still going to sound good. Just if you want better signal, we have a different harness. But the easiest setup is plug into those rear speakers, just run it right into the Bass Pro, and you'll have no issues. Okay. Front right. Hold on, I have to look at my master. So front right negative. How did I lose one? This is black. Oh, this is it. Okay, front right negative. Front right positive. And now we need another set of wires because we need more whites. Okay, so we need these two grays and we need these two whites. Okay, cool. So now it goes front left tweeter, then front right negative, front right positive for tweeter, front left positive, front left negative for tweeter. Then what is next? Then positive, then negative again. Yep, then positive, front right tweeter, then negative, and then negative center speaker. All right, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so now we just need to transfer some labels. Labels are important, obviously, so you know what you're messing with. Otherwise, if you guessed, green is the standard. So, like in car audio, colors have standard meanings, and these follow those standard meaning colors. But if you somehow, don't, it's not the end of the world. That's why they're labeled. We do have to mark these with a T for tweeter. Our other side will have tweeter marking, so to say. So, like these say TW, these don't. I just write a T on them. If I could find my marker, there we go. A little ghetto, but I did get more labels. I just don't have them right now. And for the purpose of this, that T will suffice. You know what? I'm just going to transfer the labels. Just because I don't know. We're selling this for the MDX now, and some people don't know. So let's steal some labels. So tweeter. So those tweeter are positive, tweeter are negative, and then tweeter R positive, tweeter L positive, tweeter L negative. Okay, so tweeter L negative, tweeter L positive, and then tweeter R negative. I graphed two positives. Oh, I put the wrong one in there. No, I didn't. Yes, I freaking did. Okay, awesome. Oh my god, these four are all wrong. I just used these four. How did I mess that up? I can't believe I messed that up that bad. None of these are in the right spot. Because where does it go? It goes front right negative, and this is front right positive. So it's not even the right one. I can't believe I really fucked that up. Oh, wait, no. I'm looking at this backwards. I didn't fuck this up. Okay. Front right negative, which is here. Then front right. Okay, then tweeter negative, tweeter. Okay, yeah. So this, I put the wrong label on, or they start with the right label over there. Okay, no, okay. So these are my tweeters. And this is why labels are important, guys. This is exactly why labels are important. I'm not here confusing myself. All right, so tweeter R positive. Then we're just going to double verify in a second. And this is exactly what I was saying, that when you're like in the middle of the day, I'm working on something else, and then this order comes up, and I'm like, okay, I have to make this order again. But this one's a little bit more tricky than all the other ones. So it's easy to screw this up if I'm not being super careful. Okay. So now let's verify this again against our master. So this is front right and front left. So this is front right and front left. And these are the wrong labels. Okay, awesome. This is exactly why I said we have to verify. So I took the labels off the wrong ones. Okay, so this is front right. Negative. And this is front right. Positive. Okay. Okay, yep. Then it goes tweeter, positive and negative. And then the other tweeter, positive and negative. Okay, tweeter R, negative. And then we're gonna pull up the actual schematic from Acura to verify that that my master is correct. Because I made a little too many errors right now to feel comfortable. Okay, now where's my other label for tweeter R positive? Tweeter R positive, there it is. What did you guys say? Yeah, I should get a label maker. But the thing is, all these already come labeled. It's just this product is not. It's new, so it's not. We're not set up for it. Like it's made out of the skeletons of other products. That's why the labels don't line up with what they are. If that makes sense. Okay, let me just pull up the master real quick. Like the things that are on my table that I'm using are from other products that use them as is. So I don't really need more labels. But right now I do, obviously. But normally you don't. TLX 20, we'll go 2017. Amplifier. Nope, I don't need to see how it's installed. Okay, so we're looking at driver door speaker positive, driver door speaker negative, rear right speaker negative, rear right speaker positive, rear left speaker negative, rear left speaker positive, center speaker positive. Then we got front right speaker negative, front right speaker positive. Then we got front left tweeter positive, front left tweeter negative. Then we got front right tweeter positive, front right tweeter negative, and then subwoofer. Okay, cool. So that's right. So now put all these extra stuff to the side real quick. What's up, NYC? And then we're gonna grab this guy. This guy should have a bunch of wires for us to use. It doesn't look complete though, but it looks, I don't know. Usually they're twisted together, zip tied together. But whatever. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be missing a gray. Black is what I'm gonna be missing here. All right, let's steal one from here. Perfect, the one we took the label from. All right, awesome. Okay. All right, so then that's this end. So we don't confuse ourselves, plug this into right here, and we'll start from the same side. So front left positive is the first one. Yeah, front left positive, then front left negative, then rear right negative. Yep, then rear right positive. Okay. Then rear left negative, and then rear left positive, and then center positive. Okay. I can push these in all the way. Change my speaker. Oh, it'll run just fine with the factory speakers. We'll have it. Quick question, but I have a ILX single screen looking for your dash kit. Do I need an amp for for Bose spare tire subwoofer. What spare tire subwoofer? Can you give me the model number? Oh, that's terrible. I guess because my hair's so dark every time I look down and then back up. Hold on, I shouldn't need to do this with this. These should just go in on their own. There we go. Okay. Then that's all fine and dandy. And then we'll go. Oh, now we need. No, we still need front right. It goes. What's on my bottom row? Front right negative, which is here. Front right negative. Right. Then it goes front right positive. Okay. Then I need tweeter. So tweeter. Okay. That one didn't have a label. Okay. And I need a positive. Give me a positive, please, sir. Thank you. Okay. So after front right, it goes tweeter. Tweeter left. Tweeter left negative. Tweeter right positive. Tweeter right negative, and then center speaker negative. Center speaker negative. Let's go. Doing it this way is faster, but then you're assuming that they're doing a full system. For this case, I do know this customer is doing a full system, so it's not a big deal. But normally all these come wired together so that you only cut the ones you want to use. In this case, the sub is still on the factory amp, but every other speaker is not. So normally the centers would be together, but it is what it is. I know this customer is going to use this product like this, so it's no big deal. The other connector we do need, though. Where did I put it? So this is this 8-pin connector on the amp. So where did I put the amp? So this is this guy right here. And this on the diagram says it is your satellite signal for right rear speaker, and it says satellite rear speaker and satellite left speaker. So C1 is blue, and that's satellite right positive, which means we're going to grab purples and greens. And so purple. Where's the other purple? There's the other purple. Where's the other green? Green and green. Okay. All right. So then we're matching this. Blue is right rear speaker positive, which means it's purple positive. Okay. Then the other one's purple black. Yep. And then goes left, which is 3. That color is what? Hold on. This is being a pain in the ass. Red. Yep, 3 is red, and that's left positive. Okay. And then left negative. Why is this giving me a hard time to go in? Is this too high up or too low? What's up, Spark? Aw, come on. Why are you doing this to me, bro? Don't bro me, bro. No, come on. These should go in. Okay. I'm going to have to push them in then. Okay. The next one. Okay. They're all in good. Yep. All right. Let's plug this into the amp. Make sure that gives us no issues. Perfect. Okay. Then we got to make the matching side. which we should have the terminals for. Oh, I guess not. It's not on my table here, right? No, I need another set of wires. Okay. Let me go get those real quick. Okay, I'm actually gonna print this pin out so I could send it with the order as well. Okay. All right, so then, oh, we need to transfer those labels. Okay. Then we can, oh, we do have it plugged in. All right, so then that's negative. Yep, that's negative. This is negative. Top row, positive. Then negative, negative, and positive. Okay. All right, so then these are good. None of them have clicked though. Bruh. I put them in the wrong way. Watch them not click now. Oh, it's still clicked. Let's go, baby. This connector is weird in that way that they're aimed down and not up. Okay. So plug that into each other. Make sure neither one comes out. Plug this into this. Make sure neither one comes out. Beautiful. Plug it back into. Okay, beautiful. None of them came out. Now we're going to try this guy into the master. So none of them backed out, which is what we want to make sure it does not happen. Okay. We'll plug this into our amp. Make sure that none of that happens. Okay, none of them backed out. Super important. All right, cool. Now we're going to add zip ties to these so that they don't back out, or if they try to, they can't, or they'll be less likely to, I should say. And then maybe one more zip tie, which we don't have right there. Okay. And then we're going to write on these two, actually I'm just going to write LOC, and here I'm going to write amp, but on the back side. Actually, right? Yeah, okay. Amp. Meaning, let me go grab the last thing. These we're just gonna, some people aren't gonna use these, but we send them anyways, just so you have them. But I am going to now show you how this works. Let's just kind of clean up first real quick, because we got a freaking mess right now. So Mada in China. How do you think this happens? So these wires are terminated in China. As you can see, I put everything together for you on stream. but they wrote Mada in China, and then this one says made in China. But as you can see, what actually comes from China is this stuff, and then I have to put it together. Sometimes I do order stuff that comes together, but on newer products that are just developing, I like to be the one to put it together to verify that it's done correctly. Mada in China. I just think it's hilarious that they write that. Mada in China. Okay, this is the master. Sorry guys, I'm just cleaning up so I can better demonstrate later on what the product is for. Okay, move all this stuff out of the way, and then if I bring this up, you should be able to see more of the desk, right? And then this way. Okay, cool. All right, and then I'm gonna show you. One sec, I'm just grabbing two more things. Damn, that Linksys is all the way back there, bro. Okay. All right, YouTube. So let's say, let me open my screen real quick so you get all the info that you need real quick. All right, so I'm going to clip this. That's why I'm showing it to you this way. Where's that screen that you're looking at? So I can copy this link. Is this it? Yeah, okay. All right, cool. So here's the pinout for your TLX. This is going to be the same from 2015 to 2020. I know up there it says 15 to 17, but it's going to be the same. Here it is. That's the connector. That's right. So I'm gonna. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong thing. No, actually, I hit the right thing. Okay, there has to be software for that for your computer. All right, so the pin I'm about to show you is for this connector right here. You can see red is over there and black's on the top. So black turns out to be ground, and then red turns out to be subwoofer positive. 2A2 is red. Yep, subwoofer positive, red. And then the rest of the pinout is here if you need it. And then I'm going to move on to the next pinout, which is the input. Like I was saying, this input is fixed to 1 volt. So basically what that means is it's not usable unless you're using a very specific use case, whereas 1 volt fixed output. It's only coming out front left and front right. If you want it to come out at every channel, because every channel is listed there, look. So you can see it says front left for your right, front right. This is something a lot of people don't know. If you want the audio to come out of every channel the right way, it's still going to be fixed 1 volt, but if you want it to come out the right way, you need to enable Dolby, something in the settings, Dolby Surround or something like that. When you enable that, it's only available on certain audio inputs. So XM is one of them. So if you enable that, you'll get a full, not a full range output on every channel. I think it does apply some sort of filter. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it will come out at every single channel, but it will be fixed 1 volt. If you can't enable Dolby or you don't, then you're only going to get audio out of front left and front right. The other thing is this is fixed 1 volt. If you intercept this connector that I'm telling you about right now, this 28-pin connector right here, let's say you're like, hey, I'm going to get rid of the amp entirely. You're going to get rid of the amp and you're going to use this connector right here. This has the lines for fixed communication or digital communication. You see RX485 negative, RX, or right here, RX45 negative, and then RX45 positive. Those lines are what communicate with the factory amplifier back and forth, factory amplifier, factory radio. So if you splice that or you cut it or you remove it like here, then the amp will not communicate with the radio and you'll lose volume control. That's why you can't grab the output from the factory radio unless you use a DSP with a DRC. Those are a lot of acronyms. So what it means is you need something like this BitNove that has DSP capabilities, because you're most likely going to need to upmix audio if you don't turn that Dolby thing on. And you're not going to have a volume control because the volume isn't going to work on a factory radio. So then you need something with a DRC. Forget what it's called, direct controller or some shit. I don't remember, man. But I'm going to show you what it looks like so that you are familiar. It's this thing right here. It's an additional remote. So this will do volume up, volume down, and it'll let you change stuff inside the DSP. And this is what I'm talking about when you need a DRC. When you need a DSP, this is a digital signal processor. That's what a DSP is. But you need it to have an additional remote so you can control the volume, because you'll lose the factory volume control. That's why I don't recommend people bypass this amp or talk about removing the factory amp. Instead, you leave it as is, and we intercept this connection. That's where our product comes in. So you bought this from us. You're like, okay, what do I do? This plugs into the amp. What used to plug into the amp plugs into here. And now instead of you needing a $600 DSP with a DRC, you can just use a regular line out converter, because you still need to convert the signal unless your amplifier has high level in. And you can use either the WaveTech piece or audio control piece. And then the way this will work is you're going to now capture the output of the factory amp and connect it to the input of the WaveTech piece. So here's the WaveTech piece. These are the inputs here. So you'll disconnect this. You'll terminate the wires inside of this connector right here. And then you'll take these wires that are coming out of the amp. Remember, the connector that's going into the amp, out of the amp and into your line out converter, which will look something like this. These will just plug in, and then the wires are terminated. You see inside there, they're screwed down. And depending how many speakers you plan to amplify is how many you need. This is a Link 6, so it'll do 6 channels out. So you have 3 pairs RCAs, but it's 6 total. And this is cheaper than a DSP, also easier to install. So that's where one side of the harness goes. Then on the other side of the harness, that's not going to the DSP, these lead to every single speaker in the car. So instead of you thinking, hey, I need to run speaker wire into every door so I can run it back to my amplifier, instead you run your amplifier wires, remember the wires that normally go to your speaker, to here, and then these will lead to every speaker in the car. These are labeled, so then you don't need to run wire everywhere in the car for each speaker. You run your front set of wires here, your rear set of wires here, and then let the factory wiring do all the speaker routing for you, so to say. And it just makes your installation a little bit more simple. We also do have a package that has a DSP already wired, so you don't have to go through this manual step of wiring or connecting your line out converter. But I find that even though the TLX is a newer vehicle and it is a little bit more expensive, the people who are upgrading at this time are, I don't want to call them cheap because it's not really cheap. It's just they're more in the know about audio. Like usually by the time you get to a TLX, you've had a TL or you've had another Acura or another Honda, and you have done a radio in that car at some point, or you've done audio at some point. Because on your TLX, your audio system's all right. It's not like, great, but it's all right. So like, unless you're an audio enthusiast, you're not going to think about upgrading. And when you're an audio enthusiast, you already know a little bit. So it makes more sense for you to pick up the harness and do the line out converter thing yourself, because you've probably done it in the past. And maybe you're not too familiar with the DSP, so you're not looking at the DSP product. And this is what you feel more comfortable with, at least is what I have found. Because people are very familiar with LC7i, but when you tell them a DSP from PBX, a DSP from Audison, a DSP from Audio Control, they're not as familiar, and they kind of like are a little bit more reluctant. But now I'm just going to show you where to actually get it. So if you go to our website, let me take you to the URL. We go to Mobile Max Car Audio, and you go shop. Can you see that? Yeah, I think you see it. You hover over shop, or you click shop, and then you go to amplifiers, and then you go to amplifier integration, because remember, we're not bypassing here, we're integrating into the factory amp. This is the harness right here, and then you're going to choose your model. So in this case, it's a TLX for 2017, and it has ELS. If you don't have ELS and you have the premium sound system, the harness is a little different. So just keep that in mind. And then here's the picture of it hooked into the WaveTech like I just showed you before. And then we have a video. It's not on this one. It's on this one for the MDX on how to wire it. And then there's another small video that shows you basically what I talked about in more detail. So you can check that out as well. And then here's the DSP one. Why is it not letting me go back? There we go. This is the one with the DSP. And this has the PBX DSP. And here you can see there's the amp. This is what I was saying for all the speakers in the car right there. And then the DSP gets all wired already, so all you have to do is run the RCAs to your amps. It's an 8-channel DSP, so your center speaker stays on the factory amp. And then here's a video or a short of me hooking it up. And there is a whole live stream of me like programming and everything if you're interested in that. But yeah, that's going to cover one of these. We need to make more, but that's just how overall it works. And let's get this one shipped. It's going out with other stuff, and I'm going to put some stuff away real quick. So give me a few minutes. Okay, so he needed sound, didn't he? Okay, so we could probably... Oh, I have the baggies back. You're probably like, what the hell is this guy talking about? He's selling crack? No. These were the bags. Oh, sorry, I'm zooming you in. That, hold on. Now I messed my whole thing up, sorry. I should do a video on like my whole setup because it's a little funky, but these bags were out of stock, but they had the instructions on the back. That's why they're so important. And our contact info. So they serve like a little business card. So I'm gonna throw this in there. And then we need like a pretty long box. I don't know if this will fit. And what is this? 14? Hopefully. Yeah, I think so. All right, awesome. All right, let's pull up that order real quick. Oh, is this the stupid box? This is the stupid box. Damn, that's the last one. Oh, no, it's not. Let's go. But yeah, I started writing a script for this video. I'm trying to make this video super digestible. So sometimes I talk too technical, and some people aren't in this audio world. You got to think like majority of your customers aren't in the audio world. So they're not going to understand a lot of the things that I say, especially when I'm in it every day. I start talking like a shop person and not a regular person. So I'm trying to make sure that in this new video, I don't get too crazy technical so that people can follow the video and understand it. I plan to do a live stream after the video airs so that I can get more technical with the people who have technical questions. Oh, my wife called me. But I don't want the video to be so crazy technical it's not understood. Let me mute myself real quick. Idiot. Sorry about that. I was not muted, but I had my audio way too low. What a dumbass, bro. But what I was saying is, I have an idea of taking the newer factory amps and modifying them in a way that limits the output to below 5 volts so that you can use them as preamps already. They'll have their own EQ applied and the bass roll off, but it'll be enough where you don't need a line out converter anymore, and you could just make your car louder very easily. It wouldn't do much for sound quality, but a lot of the people who have contacted me aren't really looking for sound quality. They're just looking for loud. So that would make it real easy to make your system louder. You just use your factory amplifier as your preamp. But I don't know if that's possible. I got to talk to National Engineer about it. If it's, I know like theoretically it's possible. You can modify electronics to really do anything you want, but is it feasible? And will it impact your amplifier in any way where it will damage it and it won't work long term? Okay. All right, so here we have the tweeter, the speaker. All right, what in the world? Are these labeled correctly? No, they're not. So front left. All right, we need these again because we need to steal the labels. So tweeter left, positive, tweeter right, positive, tweeter right, negative. Okay. All right, so it goes front left tweeter negative is first. Okay, so front left tweeter. So I need more white cables is what you're telling me. Yes, sir, I do. Do I have? No, I need to go open another one of those. All right, because there are whites in here. There are no whites in there. Okay. Who's calling that? Who's calling that? Yeah, I can't wait till this is no longer a thing. I could just grab them out of the come on, how did this even happen? Okay, there we go. Can just grab them out of their storage bin, check it, and then ship it instead of swapping stickers. Also, I forgot to put the pinout in the box, so I'm gonna have to text it to the customer. I mean, I could just reopen the box, honestly. Okay, tweeter negative for the left, then front left negative, front left negative. Okay, then front right negative, just regular front right negative. Okay, front right negative. Okay, then front right. Where the hell did that go? No, that's actually legit black. Oh, okay, so here. Then front right negative tweeter. Yep, okay. Yeah, the tweeters are all separate. That's a big change Acura and Honda made in their cars. They went active in the front stage on like every single one of them. Come on. Oh, that's a New York call, so we won't be taking that. It's remote start season, so everyone who calls is just, hey, I have this car. Can I put a remote start? Remote start. Remote start. It's like, sorry, we don't do remote starts anymore. Okay, so now tweeter negative. Okay, then satellite left rear. So that's going to be green. And is that negative? Okay, that's negative. Then satellite rear. Negative, okay. Those rear speakers, ultimately just call them satellite speakers. Then nothing, okay. Then front left tweeter positive. Okay. Where is that tweeter L positive? Okay. Then front left speaker positive. Okay. Then front right speaker positive. Front right speaker positive. Then front right speaker. Then front right tweeter positive. Okay. Front right tweeter positive. Okay, come on. All right, cool. Then rear left positive, which we need to steal a label for because it doesn't have a label. Okay, and we need rear left negative label, rear left negative label. Okay. Then rear right positive. Beautiful, rear right positive. And then the next is blank because it has no center speaker. All right, cool. So now we're just going to put these all in. Make sure they all sit flush. Got no problems. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. It's 2:30. The mailman should be here soon. I have all his stuff ready already, so that's no problem. Okay, cool. So now our master is good. That's double verified, which is awesome. And now we need to grab our other wires. White, purple. Oh, I haven't done the sub on these, on this side. I'm gonna need to steal that too. I don't think I have sub with big terminals like that. Okay, no problem. Who's calling my phone? I think I'm just gonna swap the browns all together. Okay. So let's get them out of this connector. Oh, no. We got one shot at this and gotta make it right. There you go. Okay. So that was subwoofer negative is at the top. Right? Yes, subwoofer negative is at the top. Subwoofer positive is at the bottom. If I get one of these wrong, it's just gonna throw out the phase. So the speakers still make noise. The customer, depending how savvy they are, they will not notice an issue. If they have a specific sound goal though, then like it will throw it off a little bit. It'll be like, hey, like one of the speakers sounds delayed or it just doesn't sound right. It might cancel out some of the frequencies in certain songs. So it'll be like something just doesn't sound right. But 9 out of 10 times your regular person is not even going to know that there's something out of phase or wrong. But okay. Now we need to gather all of these. But I'll know it's wrong. Well, no, if I made a mistake, I won't know it's wrong. But like, I won't purposely do it wrong and send it. That's freaked up, man. Where's that big bag of stuff? Here we go. Tweeter negative, Tweeter negative still. Whoops, Tweeter positive. So I watched The Witcher, the new season, and everyone hates it. And I did not watch any reviews or anything about it. I totally forgot even there was a new season. I just remember that the main actor like switched. So I was like kind of ready to hate the new actor, but I was like, he's not that bad. But bro, people hate it, bro. I'm like a casual when it comes to The Witcher though, so like I don't know all the lore and I'm not deeply invested like some people are. But some people were like YouTube videos all just like, oh, this show sucks now. They killed the show. And I'm like, bro, the season wasn't that bad. But again, casual viewer here. But I will say that Game of Thrones ended terribly. So like I have seen terrible television. I just didn't think that was it. Front right negative. Yeah, I just double checked. So it's front right negative. The front right tweeter negative. And then rear left negative. Sorry, I'm like making it off so you guys can see rear left negative. Nah, chill, man, chill. Florida don't need remote starts. Also, it's funny, like I'll know, like I don't check the weather in New York, obviously, but I'll know when it's super cold in New York because then those phone calls will come. And don't get me wrong, if I wasn't streaming, I'd answer it and I'd help the person determine if they had if they could get a remote start or not. Uh, but right now I'm on stream and like I'm not gonna get anything from that conversation but pausing the stream. Front left positive. Then front right. Oh, where's front right positive? Oh, that's the one I said to myself I need to take one out that I already took a label from. Okay, and this is, yep, front right. Hold on. So front right positive. Then the tweeter. Okay. Then the tweeter. Also, I'm not inserting them all the way yet because I like to be sure I put everything in the right spot before I do that. Where are my greens? Ooh, this didn't have any greens in it. Do I have any extra greens with the right terminals on them? No, I don't. Okay, so I'm gonna re-terminate some greens, but they need to have the labels on them. Positive. Where's rear left negative? That has no label. What in the world? Bruh, I have all the green wires in my hand. Okay, here we go. Rear left, positive, rear left, negative. All right, so these have to get re-terminated with the slim terminals that are these right here. So we're gonna strip. No, that's not the right stripper. Hey, yo, what did he say? Okay. Strip those, strip that. Oh, wait, no, I have a... I fucked up. Okay, that makes more sense. So, because I'm yapping away like a yapster, I tried to follow... Hold on. I'm also messing this up. Okay, so I'm yapping away, and I made a mistake at the top. But good thing I didn't see them down all the way. So it was rear left negative, and then rear right negative. So then at the bottom, we now have rear left negative, which I did have in my hand at some point. No, rear left positive, sorry. And then all the positives are on the bottom, and then rear right positive. Okay. So now we can double check everything. So next to ground, next to pin 1 is pin 5. Pin 5 is front left tweeter negative. Yep. Then goes front left speaker, so door woofer, then front right woofer negative. Okay. Front right tweeter negative. Then it goes the left rear negative, and then the right rear negative. And then on the bottom, it's just the same, but they're positive counterparts. So tweeter left positive, woofer left positive, then woofer right positive, woofer tweeter, front tweeter right positive, rear left positive, and rear right positive. All right, awesome. So then this one's done. And I'm going to write on here also LLC. We're just going to write it this way. LOC and then amp. Okay, and then we're going to plug them into each other, make sure none of the wires are bent or get pushed out. No, you see, there's too much resistance there, which means one of my wires somewhere, something's going on. So I think it was my black wire was putting too much resistance, to be honest. It could be these were too straight or too low. So let's try again. Nope, some of these center terminals are putting too much resistance. All these are seated correctly. Let me poke in there. If you don't check this, this is what could screw you up, because then when the customer goes to, you see that one wasn't seated in all the way, or maybe got pushed out. But when the customer goes to plug this in, then a wire is going to come out, and they're going to be like, yo, what the freak did I buy? Sometimes you can't help it, though. Sometimes stuff be going in wrong, and then they just shove it in. But if you're being gentle like I was and stuff's not going in, then something else is going on. Either a pin is sitting wrong or something else is going on. So, all right, now let's try it. Nope, still a lot of resistance. But nothing's crooked. All right, so let's just try. Okay, nothing came out on either end. It's just the connectors are tight, but nothing bent and nothing came out. All right, cool. That was a lot smoother on the second try. All right, let's grab some zip ties. And how long have I been streaming for? An hour. All right, YouTube, that's going to end the stream. This was for the base model. The zip tie is broken. But if you have the tech package, I showed you already how it's done. And I will catch you guys tomorrow, probably earlier than usual because it's Saturday and I have a lot of stuff to do.